Okay, so we are here on the Cakes Unplugged with Subhashni Ram Singh series. That is the third month. We are in the month of Christmas, and there is nothing exciting to work on a project that looks very, very festive. So I thought nothing less than a gingerbread house is something that I wanted to share with you guys, and also want you guys to try out a gingerbread house following the steps that I'm going to show to you. So I'm going to wait for a few minutes to check if people started joining in. And then I'll just want to say hi, hello to you guys. And then we could start up. So I'm going to brief you the process. Okay. So I also um, uh, went one step ahead to do a two-tier gingerbread house. Also, depending on how much time we have, like say till the 25th December, we'll have to complete the project. And depending on how much time you have, you could decide if you want to do a single tier or a double tier. But I just thought for me it will be really good to show you a double tier. Okay, so hi Sylvia. Hi Shivani. Good to have you guys. Okay, so I'm going to brief you the process. Hi Smriti. Good morning. Okay, so this is the model that I had made. Okay, and I'm going to show you the bottom one. The top is not stuck. I could still go ahead and remove. But the making of that house individually will be similar to the bottom tier, the bottom house. So I will be showing how to assemble the entire bottom house. And I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to support this top house on top of the bottom one. And then I'm going to take this and place it on that. You have doubts, you could ask me. Okay. So, hi Monica. So I'm just going to put this guy a little on the corner of the table. Okay, so initially when I first wanted to do, I just derived the sizes of the house and each of them, the entire template that I wanted to do, went ahead and had a rough drawing on the paper. And based on that drawing, I went ahead, got a simple cardboard box, and with the measurements, I cut out the panels, and that will be the bottom for the gingerbread house. Okay, and then a roof has to come on top of this. So these are separate panels, so four of them, which are tapered at the top, but they are straight, the straight edged, but then they are tapered at the top, and then they are bigger at the bottom. So I need four such panels of the same size, but I want to know how they're going to join. So I cut them out using the cardboard box, and I just made sure if they are going to stay on top of the bottom. Okay, and then the top house comes, and what are the panels I need? I need one which has the triangular bit on the top attached, and then the right opposite one, and then need a flat rectangular sheet here, and then again here, and another two rectangular boards that will be on the top. So if I'm going to create a new one where the template is not available on the internet, now if you want to go ahead using the templates available, you could go and Google for gingerbread house templates, and the templates and sizes are available. You could use that because they tried and tested. But just in case you want to create something new, then how to start about, because though I did look for a two-tier gingerbread house, I wanted to start from the scratch to create the template myself. So I could also teach you how you can go about starting from the scratch to creating your own template. So starting with this cardboard model will be really apt if you're going to do something new. So once I had the cardboard model, why I need that is because how I'm going to cut out this rectangle or the trapezoid, are they going to match here on the edges is a difficult decision to make. In what angle am I going to cut the trapezoid? What is this size going to be, and what is this size going to be? So if I have the cardboard, and if they are going to attach itself together with a sellotape, is what I have used to attach it together. And if they are attached in the cardboard form, then the same measurements is going to work for the gingerbread as well. Okay, so this is the first step that you have to do. And then based on that, cardboard model, you need to go ahead and then cut out the templates. So these are the two templates for the sides of the top house, okay, and this is the roof. So for the top house, it's pretty much simple. There are two of this, that will be the front of the house and the back of the house, and then two of this for the sides, and then you have two of this for the roof, okay. And then for the bottom house, from the cardboard template, okay, you have the sizes of these two templates are pretty much same, but why we need two templates? Because this is for the front where you have the door, and this is for the sides where you have the window. So the window is drawn to be in the middle, so we could cut this out, and this is for the door. So you need two of this, but the back one is not going to have the door, and then we need two of this where we will have the window on the sides, and that will be the roof. So these are the templates we need. First we cut out the template, and there is one more which is going to be the top of the bottom house, okay. So and this is going to be where the top house is going to come and sit. So we need one of this. So I'm just going to count back again how many of each of these templates I would need to cut. I need two of this, the sides of the bottom house where the window is going to be there. And I need two of this, one with a door, that will be the front of the bottom house, and one without the door, that will be the back of the bottom house. I need four of this one, which will be the roof for the bottom house. I need one of this is going to cover the roof of the bottom house. And this is for the top house. Now I need two of this, one for the front and one for the back, two of this, the two sides of the top house, and this is going to be again two numbers, and that will be the roof. Now I will write down on how many numbers of these templates I would need to cut out. So that will be the next step, okay. So once you are done with the templates and you know how many numbers of each we need to cut, you are almost close to getting to your gingerbread house, okay. So then the next step is to actually start making the gingerbread slabs. Now I have the cookie dough of the gingerbread cookies recipe. I want to share that because this is more like the technical stuff where we are going to put the panels together and then start building the gingerbread house itself. So I was not going to make the dough and show to you, because I'm going to also assume that those who are going to get to this will be having the knowledge of how to make a cookie dough, because it is pretty much simple, okay. So I'm going to share that recipe with you, what I had used. And once that is done, the cookie dough will be frozen, so we don't have a very soft dough, because we are just going to cut the slabs or bigger ones, okay. So before we are going to place the cookie dough on the baking tray, right, we can't be rolling it and then lifting the cookie dough, because we don't want the shape to get changed. So I'm also going to have a baking paper or a parchment paper rolled, I mean, kept on my table, and then I'm going to roll the cookie dough on top of that, and then I'm going to keep the template. So once you have paper templates and you start using them, then it touches the cookie dough, and then you kind of maybe cannot reuse it. So to reuse the template over and over again, you could have the templates cut in OHP sheets, so you could just wipe off a wash and then reuse it again and again. But I am using the paper template. So what I'm going to do now is to show how to cut out the slabs of the cookie dough, right? So I'm going to cut one of the front of the bottom house and one of the roof, and by I have the rest of the other slabs that are cut. So after showing you how to cut these two, and I'm going to transfer it into the baking tray, and I'm going to send it out to baking and then get the one that has been already baked. So we have a seamless progress of how to set the gingerbread house, okay. So I think I need a towel to wipe off the water. The cookie dough has to be firm. So it's just taken out of the freezer. So there is condensation, but I'm just making sure the condensation doesn't come in contact with the cookie dough. Okay, so now the cookie dough would be firm because it has come out from the freezer, right? So then I will need to chop them into smaller chunks, and so softening the dough would be easier. Okay, so cutting them into reasonable slices so I'll be able to knead them out. Okay, so you could use your silicone mat, or if you are someone who can work on your counter, then you could do it like how I'm doing. Just before rolling, I'm just going to place it on the butter paper. So making it into chunks is to just soften each of the chunk because the innermost is going to be quite firm. It's like maybe half an hour that I had taken it out. Do not soften it so much. You need it cold and a bit firm. The outer cookie dough from this entire lot that I had is already softened up. The inside is firm. Now I'm just going to soften each of the chunk, okay, and knead it together. So this should be quite cold for me, not too soft. Okay, now this is good to go. This dough is okay. So this is firm. Okay, so I can see my finger marks, right? But then it is not too soft. I can just handle it, hold it, and then it is going to hold the shape. Now I just need butter paper. So I'm going to roll it over the butter paper. So I don't have to lift the slabs after I have cut it out. So on the butter paper, I'm just going to sprinkle flour. You don't want the cookie dough to stick. And then again on top of this, again, you don't want the rolling pin to stick. Okay, so I'm just going to use my rolling pin and then go on and roll. the dough. I'm looking for a 2 mm um, thick thickness of the cookie dough. So rolling it to almost 2 mm thick. The inside is quite 2 mm thick. The outside is quite thicker. I'm not going to um, meddle there because anyway they will be excess and they'll be removed. Now I'm going to check if the size is enough. I'm also going to give room in within this baking paper itself, like within the cookie dough. This is going to be something that I'm not going to need. So have I rolled it enough for the template that I'm going to use to cut? So let me start with this. So all the excess I'm going to remove. So what I'm going to focus is just the template, and I'm just going to hold and cut it. So keeping the template on top, and I'm going to retain the cookie dough, the slab that has been cut in the baking sheet itself. Okay, so now cutting again for the roof. Okay, so for the roof I wouldn't need to do anything much. So I'm just going to check if the excess comes out and if the cut is clean, then I'm just going to remove off the excess dough. So I'm just separating the roof with the sides. So now this is quite clean. I'm just going to go and check wherever the sides are jagged. I'm just going to cut it out and then make a crisp line. Okay, so now here again I'm going to retain that template on top to verify where the door is going to be there, right? And if the cut is still not done deep enough, I'll go ahead once over it. So this dough that I am taking out, I will be using back again for more of the slabs. If it is softened up by the time I'm ready to cut for the next slabs, I will freeze it for some time and then I will take it out when it is firm. So I'm just going to gently lift and then mark for the dough. And then I'm just going to use a pointy tool to go mark the points where I'm going to have the dough. Now Okay, so I'm just going to look for the marking of the door and cut out the door. Similarly, you will do it for the window. In case, because door is easy to use the knife, right? So here for the window, you can use a sharp tool to go ahead from the top and then join the lines together. So you can just cut it out. Okay. Now let me just go in and then clean because you want the dough to be nice and crisp, right? So I'm removing the excess out and fixing the jagged cuts. Okay. So now this will be two of what I need with the templates. Now, like I said, you need four of this and two of this, but the other one will be without the door, and then two more of this where you will have the window alone cut in the middle. Okay, so based on the number of the slabs that you need to do, you need to continue and make as many slabs as you need to complete your house. Okay, so now depending on how you want your, the final effect to be, what you're going to decorate it with. Now you will need to maybe make the patterns. Now I think I will make a brick pattern. I'm just going to use the scraper. Just a bit of deep cut, but don't go in through and cut through the dough itself. Okay, then I'm going to continue on the next row. Okay, so I'm just going to turn it out to make it easier for you to see. So now I'm just creating the brick. So the horizontal lines I had created using the scraper, and the vertical ones in between I'm using a modding tool to go on and then. So this you could continue and then finish the brick pattern for the entire slab before it has to be baked. Now, by the time you finished working, and then maybe if you're not working in a AC room, and if the dough has become like really very soft, then you might have to take this sheet with the slab, the cookie slab, and then refrigerate it or freeze it for a while until the dough becomes firm, and then you could just send it out for baking. Okay, so now I'm just going to send it out for baking, but before this goes into the oven, I'll continue and then have the brick pattern complete. Now I don't want to do it in the live because it is going to take up some time, and that is anyway a redundant job. So this is what I just wanted to show. Okay, so we have the cookie dough cut, and this is the side. And I'm just going to put it there on the tray and then get it closer to show to you. Okay. So transferring along with the baking paper itself, I'm just going to maybe need a brush or something. Is there? Just brush out the extra flour. Otherwise, you'll be having burnt flour on the butter paper once it's baked. Now, if you are looking for a pattern for the top of the roof as well, you could go on and do the brick pattern for the roof also. Okay, so I just want to show the brick pattern. Okay, and then the roof is also done. You could continue to finish the brick pattern um, for the entire sides and with the dough, and I'm going to send this out to bake. And then I'm just going to clear up a bit and clean up so we can have the baked one. So I'd already made the slab here. So it was baked yesterday, so that's how it is going to look. Okay, so the sides, which is the front, which has the dough, and then you have the roof as well, and then this comes out of the oven after getting baked. So this is going to take about even 30 to 35 minutes because you want them quite firm and you don't want it soft because you want this entire thing to hold the weight as we are going to build them. Okay, so the next step will be to make the edges. So once it is baked, you're just going to have a flat sides here, right? And that is the same thing with the sides as well, but we are going to have four of them. um, Okay, so we are going to have four of them, and if they have to meet, you want the edges to be slanted. So I'm just going to use a crater. So this step is going to help four such slabs to join together, and so I can have a square shape made out of the sheet, the slab of the cookie dough that I have just taken out. So the next step I'm going to show you is to scrape off this edge, and when we are going to put the um, slabs, all the four of them together, you would know why the scraping off was very important. Okay, so that is the zester, okay, that I use, and I'm just going to gently start scraping. So on the edge, for me to scrape, I need to do that at an angle. So I am holding the zester at an angle. So I'm not going to do like that, or I'm not going to also do it like this. I need to hold it at an angle. So you can see how this one is, I don't know. Okay, so you can see how different this one is. It is straight, and you can see this one is just beginning to become slanted, right? So I'm going to continue to scrape it. So you're just going to have so much of the powder from the cookie dough that I had used like a sand for the base of the whole setup that I had made. So I just want to show how this side is scraped off at an angle, and then this side you can see is like quite flat, right? But this side you can see it is just scraped at an angle. Now I'm just going to make this side also scrape at an angle, but here you know that it is scraped already. You can see that it is scraped already, and the side is quite flat. Okay, so I just want to try and show how different. mm, so this side is scraped off, and then this side is quite flat, right? So you can see that. Okay, so I'm going to continue scrape this one out. So this one step will help you put the panels together, the slabs together quite easily. Otherwise, you're just going to have a lot of gaps when you're going to have the slabs attached. Now, if they are smaller houses, and a little bit of royal icing could just come together to help you. But we are looking for more stability because this is a relatively bigger size, and we need to be sure that they are attached, the panels are attached together. Okay, so this is what I am looking at, a slanted edge on both the sides, okay, instead of having it flat. So this is on the inside. So on the inside is what I'm just going to have a slanted edge here and then a slanted edge there, right? And I will be doing that to the roof also. Okay. So holding the zester at an angle, and then scraping off the inside edge of the slabs and scraping it at an angle so we can have the neighboring panels stick to each other. Also, while baking, the measurements that we have taken, this cookie dough will expand a bit. So we also need to put the neighboring slabs next to each other and then check which of the slabs can be the neighbors. So we could just make sure the scraping is even. So the neighbor slabs can go with each other. Okay, so I'm done with scraping these two. So this is to show you how to scrape. So I'm just getting it close so you can see this part and this part is slanted and scraped down, while this is the outside and this is quite sharp here. We'll not know if you've scraped or not on the outside, but say well on the inside you will know that it is scraped, okay, at an angle. So now both these slabs are scraped, Now I am going to get all the panels that are made, which I'm going to put it together. Okay, so we also had a door, right? We also cut out a door. So for the bottom house is what I'm just going to assemble to you. Okay, so we have four of the roofs, and then the front and the back is here, and then we have the sides. These are the sides for the window, and this one will be the top of the roof, and then we have the door. Okay, so all the panels are ready, and now at this stage I'm going to use sugar as the glue, because see, royal icing is one ideal material to use um, to attach the slabs of the um, gingerbread house. Okay, but then for long lasting stuff, the royal icing is a good one. Okay, now these are like too many, and for me to hold them together, you're going to use the royal icing. I'm going to hold them together for a longer time for the royal icing to dry and then take its position, right? So I'm going to use sugar and then take it to about the caramel stage, and I'm going to use that caramel as a glue first to put the panels together. And okay, and so that is going to hold the cookie slabs together right away. But then to use the sugar itself, like permanently leaving it there, the sugar syrup or the caramel will kind of melt because of the humidity, right? But it's not going to stay forever. So we are going to use the sugar to first put them together, and then also use royal icing on top of that. Once it is all put together, then we are just going to have royal icing on top and then attach everything together. Okay, so I'm going to add, this is about a cup of the sugar, and about 1 by 8 cup of water. I'm going to cook it until I'm going to have caramel. So keep it on. Once the sugar is moistened, go to low flame and allow the sugar to first melt. Okay, so once it's melted, then allow it to go to the caramel stage, because you don't want the sugar to burn, like part of the sugar to burn before it starts, melting completely. You first want it to dissolve and then take it to the caramelized state. So I'm just getting the board ready. The bottom is a plywood board. So on top of this plywood board is where I'm just going to start assembling. So it's beginning to melt. So it's going to cross the hard boiled stage of the sugar, and then once we have the caramel, I will, so it is also going to set quickly. So I'm just going to heat it and get it to the stage where I can just stick the slabs using the sugar. So now the usage of the sugar is going to immediately put the panels together, but then I'm also going to use royal icing to have a longer stability of the slabs to stay together. So I'm going to increase the temperature. I'm going to allow the caramel to form. So I'm just going to wait for it to boil up and cook. So I'm just going to look at the comments to see if you guys have any doubts. So thickness of the cookie dough, Priyanka Pillai on Facebook, it has to be 2 mm. The one that you are rolling out should be 2 mm thick. Okay, and then we have La Zest on Instagram asking me, when is the next masterclass? Yeah, the one that is scheduled upcoming is on the 5th of January, the cake decorating masterclass. The schedule is there on the website. Just check on fondbites.com, and you could also DM me to know more details about the course. Okay, so here we're just starting to have the caramel. So bringing down the heat a bit. So waiting for all the crystallized sugar as well to come together with the caramel. Okay, so I'm just going to stop the heat, but I'm just going to leave it there. The moment I know this syrup is going to set, then I'm going to heat it back again. Okay, so to make it easy, let this be on the right side. Okay, so I have the sugar syrup, so that will be the glue, right? And this is the slab. Okay, and let me start with, so this one will be on the side, right? So let me start with this, and its pair will be the front one with a door, right? So let me just see if you are able to check it properly. So the sugar syrup is here. Let me check now. Okay, so now these two are the ones that are going to go. Okay, like that. Now you can see the sides are scraped properly, right? And I'm just going to put them together. I'm also going to turn the other side to show how it is on the inside. So they are going to stick together like that on the inside. Okay, so that way, first I'm just going to pick this slab. Here I'm going to add the glue, and then again on this side also I'm going to add the glue, and then hold it together. Now I'm just going to dunk it in. Now I have to be a little quick, dunking the both sides in the sugar syrup, and going to hold it straight. Now it's going to take about a few seconds. The sugar syrup, yes, obviously will be okay. It is quite hot. Okay. Now I'm just going to turn to the other side to show how it looks on the other side. The bottoms are not stuck. There I'm just going to use royal icing to stick. Now this part is quite stuck. There is this little bit of the sugar fallen on the counter. I'm just going to remove that. Now this is the front, right? That is the door. And now the pair here, the one that is going to come here, is the one with a window. Okay, so this window and this part is what I'm going to dunk in the sugar syrup. I'm bringing it in so you could see. I'm going to dunk this part in, right? I'm just going to check one more time. I'm going to attach it here. Okay, so this part is where I need the glue. So that part I'm just going to dunk it in, and then get it straight here, and put a little pressure so the sugar syrup will attach that slab to the dough. Okay, just turning around for you to check how we have the three sides together. Now I just need to maybe adjust here, so the last slab should just come in place. Now for the last slab I need to dunk in both the sides, and that one will be the back. So it has no doors and no windows. Okay, but then these two sides are scraped. Okay, So I'm just going to dunk this in both the sides in the sugar syrup. I just have to be a bit careful that I'm not going to drip the sugar caramel into my hands. So you can see that's how it looks, and going to adjust the position. So we have putting pressure. So the sugar is immediately going to put the slabs together, and they are going to stay. Now we also need royal icing, and that will be added after we are done with the sugar. A little bit of adjustment I'm just going to do. I'm going to step a bit back to check if the square is maintained. Now all the four slabs could join together and then maybe give me a trapezoid. So I'm just going to check out. Okay, so I'm going to turn it and also check all four sides have beautifully come together. Okay, and so this is that exciting state. Now we have the roof part. Okay, so let me just check. Now the one that we are going to have to support, what I'm going to do is a pretty easy step, I hope. So this is the cling wraps inner cotton, the roll. Okay, the cling wrap, and then the cling wrap got empty, and then I have this roll. I'm just going to put it in the middle and leave it there. Okay, and then use this as a support for the roof to come and sit on top. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. So like for you to see which side is easier, this side is easier, right? So this is going to be here. Now where we need the glue is this place where I need to add the glue and then put it here. Okay, now before adding, I just want to check if the slabs are going to go with each other. So how low or how much above can I have them together is something that I want to check now. So two slabs at a time. Okay. So what we need is glue here, a glue here for this to stick here, and then a glue here for the neighboring panel also to come together for the roof. Now I'm going to add the glue here also, and then on the other slab also, and then hold them together like that and wait for some time. So I'm just doing a trial for myself to see if it is just going to stay in place. Okay. Now I'm just going to check the consistency of the sugar syrup. Okay, it is a little thicker to just help me go on for, because there are four sides that I need to do, right? So I'm just going to heat this up. So what that will do, it will just thin down the syrup. Okay, so you can see it is quite thick now. I'm just going to put it, so it just heats up a little bit. Even if it goes to the next level of caramel, it doesn't matter, because I'm just going to use it to stick together, right? Because I need it back for four of the roof. So I just want it quite thin, so could just spread well. So I'm switching it off. So here I cannot dunk this part, so I'm just going to add the caramel here. Okay, and this part I'm going to dunk. Okay, so similarly, I'm just going to add, I don't know if you can see that, I'm just adding a similar sugar syrup to the other one as well. After adding that part, I'll show you, and then I will dunk its side that is going to pair. Okay, so that's what I did, and I'm going to dunk its pair. Okay, so these two sides, and I'm going to hold it together. So is it straight? This is also slanted. Okay, so my team is just helping me because I just can't see the other side. Yes or no? Okay, both sides are fine. So I'm just going to hold it there for some time. This one, here extra is there. So okay, on the inside it is stuck a bit, but not much. I'm just going to show you and then also tell you what we could do. So this one is stuck properly. I can just take my hands out. I'm going to move this and then bring it near to show you what's happening. So here I can see they are the same height. On the inside here it is stuck well. Okay, let me turn to show how it is on the inside. So I'm checking from the right side for me to take a look. Okay, so I feel here you could have another spatula. So I'm just going to take a little bit of the sugar syrup and then add it here on the inside. So it just stays there. Just pressing it down, allowing the sugar to take place. So this one is just going to not let this slab fall. Okay, so before covering the inside, I mean the other two, if I'm going to place, the inside will be sealed. Okay, so now I'm going to use royal icing because sugar is just going to stay there only for maybe a day. Okay, just like for the immediate sticking. Now I'm have a piping bag of royal icing. Okay, so I'm just going to go in and have it a little bigger. I'm just going to get it cut a little bigger. Okay, so I'm just going to go in, use the royal icing so the sugar will stick it right away, and the royal icing is going to help it hold for long. So you need the royal icing also on the inside. So on this side, so any gaps that are there which the sugar couldn't put it together, So because royal icing will take more than a day for it to dry completely. So that is how the both sides are looking. It's been stuck with sugar. It's now quite stable, and there is royal icing also that is going to keep the stability for quite some time. Okay, so now I'm just also going to go in here and then get the royal icing added there. I'm just going to bend down. I'm almost kneeling down to check that part, to go in and have that sealed now, because there is going to be the pressure, the weight of the roof, right? So with the help of the sugar, I just put them in place, but then to keep it holding for a longer period of time, I'm also getting the help of royal icing. Okay, so this step is done. Two roofs are done, so two more to go. Okay, so let's just get to the other two, and I'm going to have the sugar syrup heated up. So you can see it is like quite stiff already, but it's just getting darker. So never mind, but what we need is a sugar solution that is as thick, but the color doesn't matter. So the two rows, while let me just reduce the heat, and I'm going to keep the two of the other slabs to check if they are going to meet. Okay, so they are quite good. I'm just checking on all sides. So with the sugar, and if I'm going to hold it for quite some time, and this will come to place, and then I'll see how I'm going to put my hand inside to add the royal icing here after the sugar is attached, and then I will also add here, so they all come together. Okay, so checking the sugar syrup back now. So it is quite thin. Now this slab, I'm going to use it here, right? So here I need the glue on the side and this side as well. On for the other one, I'll maybe do it on all the three sides. So I'm going to switch off because I'm starting to have the whiff of smoke. Okay, so this is going to go there. I think I'll do on this side, dunking it in. Just need to be careful so I don't drip the sugar, because sugar burns are quite bad. Okay, so I have the two pairs. I mean, did I do right? No. I need to dunk this side as well, right? I just need to be a little careful so I don't burn. So I have on this one on two sides. I just want to dunk this again. On this I have it on two sides only and this on three sides and going to go. Going to put pressure, not much. Okay, so it's staying. Now to get the help of royal icing, let me turn it around to show how it looks, because you don't have to panic because most of the gaps can be hidden. Yeah, there is a bit of gap. We could at this stage, here you can see, right, this gap with that, because now it is staying, with the help of royal icing we can fix that. But just in case if you're just unsure of that, we can cook a little bit of the sugar syrup and add it into that gap to seal that part. Anyway, we'll be having royal icing there. So that's how you kind of reuse the sugar as a glue. So extras can be cut, so not to worry. I'm going to just turn it. I switched off because the sugar is melted. So these can be scraped out. Okay. Now I'm just going to add royal icing. You can use the knife to scrape it out. So getting the extra sugar cut, but then little carefully so you don't break the slabs of the cookie itself. Now taking the help of royal icing to see how much I'm just going to, I mean, be able to go inside from the top, right? So on this side, I should just go in and be able to pipe. So I'm just going to go in, squeeze as much. So just to be sure, because just the sugar, like today it will be quite stable, but maybe the next day you will have it sticking and maybe just coming out, melting and all that, right? So you just need to avoid that and have a very stable glue, which is the royal icing, to hold it in place. So just one more side, I'm just going to go feel where it is and then start squeezing, following that edge. Make sure I have piped enough. Okay, so that is good. Okay, so the sugar part is done. Let me just clear that out. So this will be the top, okay, for that top house to come and sit. This I could just do it with royal icing itself. Okay, so let me clear the sugar and get the induction stove out. Okay, so now we've quite beautifully come to the stage. I just have the door part to attach, and then I'm just going to show you how to start adding the top of the house. So the top house I have here, what I'm going to use is the one that I had already made, right? And I'm going to show you how to get the two tier up, and how am I going to place this on the top. Okay, so in the meanwhile, I had something really important and really nice. I thought I would like to share it with you. Like here I have one of you ask me for the next masterclass. The FODMC is like the most favorite course from the desk of Fondbites that I have to share about it. It's been there with Fondbites for the past 6 years almost, and it is the cumulative knowledge and the output of all of my physical classes that I have been doing years before that. So if you're new to Fondbites, you have to know Fondbites is about 10 years old. It is there. It's been training out a lot of people in cake decorating and cake baking for so many years, like almost 10 years now. When it's been there like so for 5 years of physical hands-on classes which is being held here in Chennai, where a lot of people had traveled down here from different states, different countries as well, to get trained. And when I felt the need of the training, the Fondbites way of teaching, to reach different places irrespective of the geographical barriers. And then I put together the FODMC, I fondly call it, the Fondbites Online Cake Decorating Masterclass. I'm talking about it especially now because the registrations happen only 8 months once, because it is an 8 months long course. It is aimed at beginners only, so don't be overwhelmed. If you're checking out my students' work on my Instagram page, do not be overwhelmed, because you join as beginners, and then under the mentorship of me and the mentors that whom I've trained, you're going to have 24/7 mentor support, and I'm going to train you from the basics, like starting from the whipped cream, sharpages, and more techniques on whipped cream. And then you also have the ganache, the buttercream, the flowers, and wedding cakes, and fondant, and sugar flowers, wafer paper flowers, and whatnot. We have everything covered under one roof. But I'm just going to take this opportunity to share with you the work of the students of the previous batches, so you get to know what value you will be getting if you are going to be part of that course. And the batch is starting 5th of January, and we have the registrations running now. So I just don't want you guys to miss. If you feel cake decorating is just going to lift your caliber up to show you in the industry with a much neater finish, with more skill set that you could just add it into your repertoire of skill set. Now I just want to play a video, so, and also explain you how it is going to be, the big basic lessons, and then we're just going to move on. And these are the works of my students, and I'm so proud about sharing that with you now. Okay, so this is the whipped cream ruffles cake. And okay, so the students do the sharp edges and then they do the ruffles also after a lot of practice. Okay, and then the next lesson will be the scallop cake, and this is made using whipped cream and beautiful pastel colors. And this is the work of one of the student. The sharp edges on the whipped cream is done, on top of which the scallop is made. So the third lesson also is a whipped cream sharp edges after that is done. So 3 times you will be doing the whipped cream sharp edges, so you get the extreme practice for getting the sharp edges. And the third lesson will be the edible print, and that's a beautiful edible print put on the cake. And then the fourth lesson will be the chocolate truffle, like the ganache round sharp edges, on top of which beautiful rosettes are also made using the ganache. Okay, and then the fourth one is the highly skilled sharp edges on square cake. Okay, and how do you get sharp edges on square? And this one lesson is dedicated for that, and that is what students do then. Then the next one is buttercream. We move on to buttercream and then do the sharp edges on the buttercream cake, and on top of that you do the portrait painting using buttercream. So any students choose whatever portrait they want to do, and I will be guiding them to put that painting on the cake using buttercream. And then the next is the most sought after technique, which is not even available anywhere. I just don't have a plug out separate session for this. This is pointillism. You can see how the painting has just come to life with dots just piped on the cake, bringing that entire painting into life. And that will be done on a square cake after doing the square sharp edges. And the next lesson will be the buttercream flowers. How beautifully we have 10 different flowers as part of the course, and each student will be piping at least 3 of them of each of the flower, like almost 30 flowers, and then assemble them on the cupcakes, and that will complete the buttercream flowers lesson. The next one is this beautiful wedding cake using buttercream only, and this lesson is very very close to my heart because I allow the students to explore any technique available on the industry trending ones, and then I allow them to explore and then come up with a cake, even though this particular technique is not part of the course. I mean, it's not part of the syllabus, but still you can see there is geode assembled on the cake with a beautiful composition, and also rice paper petals beautifully have that movement around on this cake. Every student's cake, I personally compose them, and that's a wedding cake that's done using buttercream by one of the student of the previous batch. And then we have the fondant lessons coming up. Once all the whipped cream, ganache, and the buttercream is over, then I take the students through the fondant and the cute figurines and the 3D ones they make. And you also can explore with the Rice Krispie treats and the tree with armature and a lot of other things which the students think they have to incorporate on the cake. And I guide each of them for whatever they think they can choose to work on the cake. And that is a beautiful cake. And then we move on to a 2D fondant lesson. And in the 2D fondant, I allow students to pick up an image and use 2D fondant, roll them out and cut them out into the perfect shape and put them together. So you bring that to life as well. So not only buttercream portrait painting lesson, you learn to put the 2D flat elements on the cake. Also, fondant is another medium beautifully put together to come up with a cake of any theme of choice. Then after this lesson, we have the sugar flowers. The beautiful 3 flowers that you do: sugar tulip, rose, frangipani, and then also the peony. We have 4 different flowers with the foliage. Once you're done, and then with the photography, the lesson gets completed. Then the next one will be the wafer paper flowers. We have anemone, rose, and peony, all 3 using wafer papers. And this is one lesson, that is one work of my student. And then we have an assessment for the students. So when they start with the whipped cream ruffles and then they go on till a particular stage, I know what is the strength of each of the students. And then I have the assessment done as part of the course. And this is a cake made by one of the students, where the egg of the dinosaur is made using Rice Krispie treats, the moss, the wooden bark, everything is edible. And then the baby dino is also edible put together. This is an assessment cake with which the final certificates will be given to the student. The next one is another amazing marvel created by one of the student. And you can see there is Rice Krispie treats, there's modeling chocolate, there's face sculpture, anatomy, and this entire bust, the body, the neck is made out of cake. And then you have the heart, and the entire concept is put together under the guidance of me. And you can see how this assessment cake is just beautifully put together. Skill set is just taken to another level, where the students start with the whipped cream ruffles cake. So the final lesson will be the wedding cake, and that will be the finale cake for the students to complete the course. And from there we finish the course. Okay, so this is how they start from the basic, and then they go on till making any level that the students think that they can push, and then I will be there for them to guide them, take it further. Okay, so I also wanted to show you the stages in which I allow the students to work. Like, how are they able to do it step by step? Okay, so let me just also show you. Okay, so let me play another video where I'm just going to show you the wedding cake. This is just one lesson where I just wanted to show how the stages are being sent out and how I'm approving every stage. So from there, one student is able to complete a masterpiece at the end of each lesson. So that's how a sketch is drawn for a wedding cake, and the tiers are made, right? And let me just pause. Okay, so the individual tiers are made with the buttercream sharp edges for the three tiers, and then we have the dowel marking done, but that is very important for stacking the cake. Students make this and send it out to me for verification. After this is done, the dowels are all cut, and I verify each of the dowels and the height of each of them. And once they are done, we start stacking the cake as well. We mark the dowel positions. The students then place the dowels inside, start stacking, show me stage by stage, and after which I allow the students to explore on the techniques, the waves, the rice paper sail, the twirl, and then the shells, and then everything put together. We have the final wedding cake where the elements all come together, and this is a beautiful, buttercream wedding cake. I just wanted to share how the stages of the lessons are being shown, and then how I'm able to help the students come up with a basic until we are going to complete making the entire cake. Okay, so I thought this was very important for me to tell you. I'm very passionate about teaching cake decorating, and that is why I wanted to do the unplugged and take each of you through this journey where I'm able to explore, allow you to explore the cake decorating techniques with me through this unplugged. Also, more, I thought it would be really nice if I all could share what we are doing in FODMC. So you could be part of that course and travel with me for 8 months. So you will allow me the chance to groom you into a better cake artist, so you can be out there in the industry on par with the experts out there, where you just aiming to look at them and want to be them, and it's going to take years if you have to do it all by yourself. So I thought you could take my help in this course and be part of that. So in the next 8 months, you can do the cakes like what I showed you, because they were beginners when they joined 8 months before. And you're almost at the end of that batch where students are already starting to make expert level cakes. And you can be one of them in the next 8 months. So registrations are going on. So DM or look into the website or call us, and we'll be there to guide you what you could do to be part of the course. So register with FODMC, right? Okay. So from there, let's move on to fixing this gingerbread house, and that's where we left. Where I just wanted to talk a little snippet about FODMC, right? So the top tier is already made. Okay, so now I just want to put this away. So let me just turn this out to show there is just a door yet to be made. Okay, now if I can be a little sure that this entire slab could be quite sturdy enough if I'm going to place this on top. Okay, but now how long is it just going to stay? Is it just going to get the this roof and this slab of the sides, the walls of the house, put pressure, and then is it going to break? If we are just going to have that doubt, we just need to hold a support. I just want to check if this goes inside. No. Okay, so this is another tissue roll I just want to use as a support. So this has to stay in place, but then I just need to cut it out. Let me use a pen or a pencil. So this is the support that we need, especially when we are just going to work on pen or pencil. If you are going to have a two tier, so this support is needed because we just making the gingerbread house and then make it stay for quite a few days, right? So let me have this and then use the pencil. So even if there's little gap, that I can hide it with royal icing, but I just can't have this hanging and not holding the weight of the top tier. So I'm just going to hold in place and then use the roof as a guideline. So after I have marked the outline, okay, I'm just going to cut it. So I'm going to use a serrated knife. You can also use a hacksaw blade. So you need to use a saw motion to just go back and forth and then allow the knife to go in. Finish one full round of cutting out the edge and then go in and then cut it out. Okay, so let me place it in to check if I have the right height. I will be adding royal icing at the bottom. So to check if I have the right height, I'm going to place this and see how much gap I have. So you can see I have that little gap, but on this side it is quite flat. So here maybe it is not straight. So on this side I just want to cut it out a bit. So let me mark which side is a little taller. So I'm going to adjust that part. So one side was just right, so I'm not going to disturb that. So placing this support inside, I'm going to place the top. Now this one should be resting on that pipe, the wooden carton pipe. Okay, now I'm going to pipe royal icing here for its bottom. Okay, side is here. I'm just going to pipe royal icing. So now you also want this to stick and not keep moving. Okay, so once you've piped good amount of royal icing here, then I'm going to take it in. So that is the front. Keep it in the middle. So this royal icing is going to help it stay in place. Okay, and on top of that, I'm going to place this. So the weight is going to be held by this. It's a cardboard pipe. I'll just call it that. Okay. So then I'm just going to have royal icing piped here on the top. because it is also touching there, and you also want the help of royal icing for it to stick. So I'm just placing this, just giving it a shake and pressing it down, so it is also taken the help of the royal icing to come together, right? So first of all, it's just in the live, it's almost like magical to have this part of the house completely ready as you guys are watching. Okay, so I'm just going to turn it and then flaunt it for a second or more. Okay, and then we are just going to do the last part of placing the top tier on top, and then hold and see how long it is going to take for the royal icing to sit. In the meanwhile, okay, so the last step now, let me just pick this up. I'm going to also remove it before, because I just want to show how I'm going to decorate the sides. Okay, you just have the cam adjusted, so you show the whole thing. Okay, so the top tier is placed. Now I just placed on the other one also, the other one that I made also, the top tier was placed, so I could just move it. Now if I know that I'm going to um, have it here attached, then I will just go on and then add the royal icing here in the gap, and then help this completely settle down on the stick to the bottom tier. So I know it is just going to be in one piece, because I thought in the life to make both the houses is just going to be a monotonous work, and I thought I will show you how to make the bottom. Also, I wanted to show how to do the support, and I also wanted to use the same top house to be placed, so it is not stuck, but I'm just going to place it here and also attach the royal icing. In that case, this whole thing will become one piece. Okay, now the last thing that I wanted to show, we are almost just done with it. How did I do the roof? So some simple decorations, right? So you can just check the other one that was made using the same template as this one, right? What I'll do, take this to the other side and bring it a little closer. I'm sure you might have just taken a look at the poster, the picture that was done. Okay, so you can just see the roof. So I thought maybe it will be nice if I show you that. Scissors is here. So I'm going to get, so there's royal icing here. I will be sharing the recipe of the royal icing, and I think it'll be better have a nozzle, a thin round one. I'm going to fit the piping bag. So I'm fitting the piping bag with a round nozzle. I think it is maybe size 2. Okay, round size 2. And then I'm going to show you this Bhavna. Okay, you just watched it. Thank you so much for sharing. You're truly amazing and most hardworking teacher I ever had. Blessed to have you as my guru. Thank you so much. I'm also very, very proud of you, and felt like, your cake deserved to be there on that video. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'm just going to start making the roof for you. Hope we just have the close up here. Okay, so I'm just going to start piping some U's, right? My hand is hiding. Shall we do the top and see if that works well? Yes. Let me sit and do. How much can you see on the top happening? So let me start and then slowly I think things will be pretty much visible. So if it is the top, then what? Top or side? Side to start with, and then we will move to the top. So I'm just piping U's and connecting the U's from one bottom to the other bottom. And then I'm having the extreme sides to go and touch the edge of the slab. This I have Ayushi Padya asked me of all these cakes are included in that 8 months course. Yes, all these are included in the 8 months course. We start with the whipped cream basic, getting the sharp edges, and each of the lesson we have one other technique like the ruffle, scallop, and the edible print part of the whipped cream. And then we also move on to the ganache sharpages and do rosettes on that, and then we have square sharpages, and then we have buttercream sharpages, and we do the portrait painting and pointillism on buttercream. We move on to cupcakes using buttercream. I mean the floral buttercream flowers are piped and then they are arranged on cupcakes. We move on to the buttercream wedding cake in the course. And in the buttercream wedding cake lesson, I allow students to explore any technique that they want to learn, and I guide them make the technique and incorporate on the wedding cake. Three-tier wedding cake is being stacked, and I guide them and compose a cake by placing the elements on the wedding cake. After the buttercream wedding cake is done, in the course we move on to fondant, where we do figurines, and then we do ganache sharpages and then cover it with fondant, and then we will be also doing the 3D elements, 2D figurines. We also have sugar flowers, A for paper flowers, and then we also do a fondant wedding cake. There is an assessment where students are allowed to explore on white ganache and do a lot of other trending techniques like rice crispy treats and a lot of other things using armature and basic structure is also allowed to explore by the students. Now, as I'm piping, I'm just talking about the FODMC. We have the registrations going on, and you could just DM us to know more details. The details are also on the website for you to take a look. You could call, and my team will help you to know much more details. I am going to check. The course's price is 32,000, and it is an 8 month course, like I said. We also have a 18% GST on that. But to help you, take part in that course, we are also having installment options. So you could sign up for a 2 month installment, I mean, a two installment, or we also have a five installment option that you could just use. So it is just not like very difficult. I just want to make it easy for a lot of you to be part of that course, because I totally and truly believe that FODMC transforms the artistic skill and the confidence of the bakers who just want to be the aspiring cake artist and be able to produce beautiful looking cakes that taste as good as they look. So I thought that importance I just wanted to insist, as I'm also doing this beautiful gingerbread house. So let me finish doing the roof part on two sides. So you will just have a, a better view, because I'm be dusting the icing sugar. Also, it will be good if I'm allowing the icing, the royal icing to. Okay, my sister's watching, and then she says she's very proud of me. Thank you so much, and thank you for watching this entire live as I've been doing the gingerbread house. So I did try to, schedule this as early as possible, giving everybody enough time to try this gingerbread house. But we are also running the collaboration, right? So those who are watching to be part of this Cakes Unplugged Subhashini Ram Singh cake collaboration, the monthly cake collaboration, you could just join in the Facebook group. And so we will be allowing you guys to make this particular theme. So when you're going to work on this particular gingerbread house, you could try out a simple one as well. Okay, it's just about putting the cookie slabs together, and I've just shown in live, right? So it's just to give you guys the confidence that the slabs are going to be stable, like you're watching. I have one more question, ma'am. Will you be sharing royal icing recipe? Yes, royal icing recipe and the gingerbread cookies recipe will be shared on the Facebook group, Cakes Unplugged with Subhashini Ram Singh. I'll also story it and highlight it on Instagram. Okay, so we have one side, two sides done, and then here I'm just going to continue adding the royal icing. I'm just going to make like the snow. And then I'm going to have it drip down. Okay. So I'm just going to allow the royal icing to drip down. So it look like the icicles formed in snow. To use a brush, I'm just using the nozzle itself. So it doesn't look like it is piped. Okay, so a little bit here on the edges as well, to go on, make it look like the snow on the edges here on the roof. Then we finish on the other side. Now, after the live is over, I'll go continue finish the rest of the sides as well. Okay, now let me have the icing sugar and the sieve, which I'm just going to dust on the top and then cover it with snow. That if you are doing, you could allow the royal icing some time for it to dry before you move on to the icing sugar stage. Okay, so the two sides are done. It looks so nice. Okay, so obviously the other side, that's how we started. Okay, so the plain side is here, and then how nice it looks after the roof is done. So okay, so I have the sieve. uh, so I'm just going to get the sieve to dust the. Shivani Angel, thank you so much for vouching for FODMC. And Shivani says, Subhashni ma'am, as a person, and you work so, and your work is so inspirational. Join FODMC. Okay, I'm just going to read. Subhashni ma'am, as a person, and you work cupcakes. So inspirational. Joining FODMC was the best decision. Thank you, Shivani. You truly push us beyond our limits and help us to recognize the potential. Thank you so much for vouching. I thought it was very important at the stage to talk about it because we have a lot of aspiring cake artists, and I thought it is important for them to know so they could take up the same journey as you guys, and you guys are the inspiration for the batches upcoming. Okay, so now we have the icing sugar, and I have the sieve, and I'm going to dust. So we have, okay, I'm going to dust, and then it's going to look like snow. Okay, so let me start on the top, just a little bit. How does it look on the side? If it is close, then you can show the side. Okay, so let's take a look at how the snow is drizzling on the roof. Okay, that's beautiful. Now, to end, let me clear this up and then start putting the top tier. And let me just clean up a bit. Oops, I forgot the door. Sorry. Can I have the royal icing? Royal icing piping bag. Okay. So the last one is the, I think it's the sugar that's stuck here. I think we could just do that later. So the final thing, obviously, we need a door, right? So that's the door, and it's scraped on one side, and that is what is going to be stuck here. So those are ones that can stay with royal icing. Okay, so the royal icing is piped, and then I'm just going to keep the dough. So once the royal icing is dried, it will stay in place. Okay, so let me clean up. So this is the one that I made earlier, and that's fully complete. And this one with the support that is already added, I'm going to take and place the top tier, and it is going to be there. Okay, so we have come to the end of today's, the third Cakes Unplugged session. And Gingerbread House is like that fantasy thing that it's very exciting. And I remember doing it in the year 2012, and that is when Fondbites had begun. And at the end of that year, I made a very small gingerbread house. Maybe I could share that picture with you. It just had four sides and then a roof, and then it got featured in newspaper for the Christmas feature, right? And then it just got me. It's like that's something very close to my heart, and I made that in 2012, which got featured. And then it has taken me all these years to get back to the second gingerbread house that I wanted to make. And I'm really very excited to share that with you in the live, so you could do that and share your results with me. So when you make, you have doubts, just don't hesitate to check with me on DM or in the group. Then maybe I'll help you, because we do not have a lot of time. So please participate in the collab, and there'll be three winners, the most beautiful three Gingerbread House will be picked up, and the winner will have a 30% discount coupon to buy your course on Fondbites. And the silver, the gold is the first prize, and then we have silver getting 20% discount voucher, and then the third bronze will be having a 10% discount voucher. We've been doing this for the past 2 months, and we've been having winners, and we also send you a physical fridge magnet which will carry your name, your winning position, and the work that you did together, everything in a frame, and you could just keep it on your fridge, so you could let your friends and family know your beautiful work with your name and the winning prize that you got. And you also have a badge, a digital certificate that will be sent to you. So this is very exciting. It doesn't end here with this life. It doesn't end here with what I have made. You have to go ahead, make this, and submit your work on the King's Unplugged with Subhashini Ramsingh's Facebook page. And I can't wait to see your creations. So let me just go check for any comments. Do we have any comments unanswered? More doubts on the gingerbread house? Recipe, yes, I will be sharing it. How to store the cookies? I think we can cling wrap and then leave it in the room temperature itself. Do not refrigerate. Once the slabs are done, wrap each of the slab in cling wrap and leave in room temperature. Do not allow the outside humidity or the moisture to come in contact with the slab. So it was going to retain its crispiness, and then it is good to go when you will be able to assemble. Zester, what can we add? The potato peeler also works. Knife, not sure. Potato peeler, yes. It's not very comfortable. Maybe the peeler, right? That you can use it to scrape off. But then this, I'm sure that it is going to retain that angle that I want. But if it is a potato peeler, maybe you are just peeling some places a little too deep, and then the other place is not as flat. Okay. Any more queries? What should be thickness? Yes, it has to be 2 mm thickness. This one is baked at 2 mm thickness. Angel, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to your gingerbread house. I mean, it's okay even if it is small, but yes, I'm looking forward to all of your gingerbread houses. Okay, checking for a few more comments. Recipe, I will be putting it up on the story on Instagram and then on the Facebook group as well. Okay, for shelf life of the house. I mean, if the humidity is all quite fine, I think it will stay for a month. If it is maybe raining, and then if the cookie is going to get soft and all, then maybe it could break and fall. Yeah, if it is all raining and then we just not kept it closed, the AC is not going on and all, maybe in a week cookie slabs could get soft. But I'm sure if it is stored properly, like in a closed room with maybe AC on, like once in a while, it could stay for a month. Okay, we're done with most of the queries. Okay, so any more doubts, you could just check out on the Facebook group as well, and Instagram DM me. I'll just have it answered. So thank you so much for staying here to see the gingerbread house come to life, and I'm looking forward. Happy New Year, because I'll be meeting you all again, especially in the series in the new year, with a really new technique that I will maybe come up in the first week itself. So I give you ample time to work on and then submit your work. So signing out now from this, looking forward to either seeing you make the gingerbread house or joining and being part of F4DMC. We have the registrations going. Do not forget. Okay, bye.